What's on, guys? This is Mr. Nolan. It's a brand new video, and today what we're doing is reviewing and breaking down episode 7 of season 5, Fear the Walking Dead. So this episode has two main plot points and three side kind of plot points. So let's hop into the breakdown. So the first plot point features Morgan and Grace. Now Grace is obviously the lady that the nuclear power plant lady. So the episode or this plot kind of starts off with Morgan on the road, and he's trying to get in contact with Grace and everything because he's on the road after he just recently crossed the biohazard sign. She eventually picks up and basically Morgan tells her that she crossed, and she kind of freaks out, but then tells him to head to this house to find a car and a biohazard suit, I think, so he's protected. So eventually Morgan makes it to the house and everything and starts to search for the car, for the keys or anything, but he can't find them. So he eventually enters the house. He ends up finding out that it was actually Grace's house that he's in right now and everything, because he sees a bunch of family pictures, and he eventually finds the keys and everything after looking around for a while. He drives to help the crash Charlie and Strand and everything because of because they crashed in, I think, last episode or a couple of episodes ago. So he basically stops, saves them, and basically gives them the car and everything so he can go find Grace, I think, and basically tells them directions to get back to the gas station. So they leave, and then he hears from Grace on the radio that the generator just burnt out and that she's going to try and fix it. So later into the episode, while Grace is fixing the generator, she hears a voice behind her, and it's Morgan in a fucking biohazard suit. It turns to night, and Morgan and Grace have a bit of a moment where Morgan rings the Eastman, who is his kind of mentor, whoever gave him the stick or anything back in the Walking Dead or anything. And Grace teaches Morgan that it's good to care for others, but it's also good to care for yourself and everything. So while they're on the way back to the nuclear power plant and to the gas station actually and everything, until behind them, back at the nuclear power plant and everything, they hear nuke sounds. Now this is the sounds that you hear when a nuke's about to go off and everything. Kind of those very scary sounds and everything, so signaling that the power plant is about to melt down and everything, and there's gonna be more radiation all around. That's kind of the end of their plot line. So we're gonna move into plot line 2, which is Alicia and the kids, because obviously, as you guys know, in the last episode, the kids basically ran off, and obviously Alicia cares about them. So their plot line kind of starts off with Alicia killing all the walkers that were tied up together from the last episode or anything, and now she's after that and everything, she's walking through the woods, basically killing all walkers that are tied up, because there's a lot more tied up around the woods, basically signifying that she's getting closer to the base or anything. So she's about to kill this one walker that looks a bit radiated, but we're not 100% sure yet. So she's about to kill it until she hears kind of scrunching in the bushes or kind of the leaves behind her. So she points her weapon right at it, and it's Dylan, one of the three main little kids, the youngest one. He basically tells her that she's going the wrong way and everything. He basically leads her back to their base, where he gets to the front gate and basically radios in saying, "Hey, let us in." So they let Alicia and Dylan in, but while Dylan's passing the kids or anything, they start pointing guns at Alicia and the main girl and everything, or one of the oldest of the three kids, the big sister, whoever, comes in and basically confronts Alicia, basically saying, "We don't want your help." Alicia says she's here to help and everything. So they go farther into the base, and they end up finding that the base is a huge tree house actually. So while walking towards the base closer and everything, the girl stops Alicia while they're on this bridge and everything, and she takes Alicia's weapon, the kind of sharp kind of circular cylinder or whatever. Macy starts questioning Alicia about her a weapon or anything, and Alicia kind of gives some information or anything, and then they start getting heated off. So they start kind of getting a bit heated or anything, and the girl kind of really asks, saying why do you really want to help us, and don't say it's because oh, you care about us. So Alicia basically confesses it's to make up for all the people she's kind of hurt or killed in the past and everything, to kind of make it feel right, she's doing something in the world. So flash forward, and Alicia's being held in the treehouse with Dylan, and she's kind of looking around the treehouse and everything inside, until she finds one of Dylan's old drawing books from, I guess, when he was really young, or I guess now, whatever, which is full of drawings and colorings of walkers. So Dylan comes up behind her, basically tells her to put it down. They kind of have a moment, and the two kids are out basically, and the older sister and the brother are out in the woods researching the walkers that Alicia killed and everything, so people don't know where where people are nearby or whatever. And eventually one of the walkers breaks loose, and then all the walkers start to break loose, and basically creates this gigantic ass horde of walkers that are basically now heading right back to the camp and following the two kids. So the kids back at the camp and everything start hearing yelling coming off from a distance, and they start opening the gates where the two kids enter. They're being chased by that gigantic horde, and the horde starts scratching the gates or anything. I shouldn't even say gates. I should honestly say that it's very, very thin wooden fences. So the kids start panicking that the gates won't hold or anything, and they all start backing up to the treehouse where Alicia basically says "Oh, can I have my weapon and everything to kill the walkers, while the girl finds a way to get down from the treehouse, because the treehouse is actually pretty up high in like a tree. So the lead girl kind of hesitates or anything and basically like kind of fights with Alicia a bit and everything until the brothers convince the girl to give like her weapon. Alicia and all of them kind of have a bit of a moment or everything where they kind of, I guess, cry a little, and then Alicia goes to start killing the walkers. So Alicia's at the front gate and everything, trying to hold off all the walkers and everything as they slowly start to go through the gate and everything, while the kids are trying to find a way to get down from the treehouse. So kind of time passes from that moment. Alicia kind of starts to realize, oh, this gate's really not going to hold for much longer, and she yells to the kids who are having actually trouble getting to the ground, and I think it's really high and they're having trouble finding ways to get down. So finally a walker breaks through, or another walker breaks through the gate, and it kind of gets towards Alicia and everything. She trips, falls back into the walkers on top of her and everything, basically making her struggle. So she eventually stabs it and gets blood all over her face because it's leaking down for the walker. And when she gets up, she kind of sees some beads around the walker's neck, so she grabs this the bead, rips it off, and it's one of the radioactive walkers, because obviously the thing around its neck, that the Grace told all of them that these are the radioactive walkers, ones that have the chains on their neck. So this is obviously really bad news, because she basically now has radioactive water walker blood on her and everything, and that never ends up good. So she kind of gets up and radios to the kids to see if they got down, and they say yes, but the lead girl is having trouble letting go of the place, because obviously that's the place she promised her parents that she would stay at and everything and defend her brothers and everything. So Alicia and her kind of have a bit of a moment and everything, saying you need to go and everything, and tells her that she needs to let go. And then the girl tells Alicia, whatever you did, you made up for, and now you can let go, and they basically leave. So Lee gets down from the treehouse, runs towards the run away towards the gas station or anything, while Alicia starts to lead the horde away, that eventually got through the gate and everything. The whole horde got through the gate and basically leads them away. So time passes and it's night, and Alicia's running through the woods until she gets ahead of the horde and stops at a lake to try to wash her all the blood off of her face. She radios to Morgan and tells him where she is and continues to take the horde away. And the kids make it to the gas station to meet Strand and Charlie and all the others. So kind of getting into kind of side plots or anything, the third side plot, or the third plot, but into the side. This one features Strand and Charlie, which this takes place immediately after they crashed or anything, and I think last episode, 2 episodes ago. So it picks up after the crash, and they basically can't kill any walkers, mainly because of they're all radioactive, and if they kill them with their weapons, they basically have to get away from them, where they might possibly have a chance of getting radiated because of the blood. So Strand starts shooting them, and they kind of start backing off and everything, looking at the propeller, wondering how they're going to do all this, until Charlie runs off and basically tries to distract some walkers, while Strand tries to get the propellers that they brought from their Daniel's little compound or everything to help build the plane. But sadly, the propellers are way too heavy and anything for Strand to actually carry and everything. So Charlie starts to think of a plan with by using the blimp. So she grabs all the things that are basically around the blimp, kind of the blimpish balloon thing, and basically creates this little shield around trees or anything, so the walkers can't get in. Strand runs in, she lifts it up, and now they have a full shield of basically blimp around them, everything the walkers can't get in. So Strand and Charlie kind of talking and everything. They have probably their closest moment that they've ever had on the show and everything, where they basically talk and everything, get basically emotional, until some walkers on the other side of the blimp start to get killed. They kind of look really confused at each other, because wait, who is that and everything, because we don't know anyone around here, until it's revealed that's Morgan, and yet again he's in his biohazard suit. Morgan gives him his car, and that's where their plot line kind of ends right there. So the fourth plot line, or third, second side plot, whatever, is basically Luciana. I finally figured out her name. I used to call her that girl or whatever, or Nick's other girlfriend or whatever, or Nick's first girlfriend or whatever, Al and June. So basically there's a fuel leak at the plane or everything, because obviously Al is trying to build a plane or everything, and Al covers up the fuel leak and everything, but they're now low on fuel. They're all kind of freaking out until Al remembers where her and the girl from the helicopter and everything, when they had their episode and everything, went to go get fuel on top of the mountain. So Al and June and everything basically drive to the mountains, while Luciana stays back and everything, kind of manages everything, and Al climbs the mountain and everything, gets the fuel and everything. But while loading up the fuel to the car and everything, Al tells June about the helicopter lady, because it says you can't tell anyone else about this, no one at all. So they kind of have a moment and basically go back to the gas station. So the fifth plot line, or the third subplot and everything, is Dwight and John. So basically the entire episode with them is basically obviously still looking for Sharon and everything, until their car breaks down. John gets in a lot of guilt of overhiding the note from Dwight, until he finally confesses to Dwight about the note and how he lied. So Dwight reads the note and everything that Sherry left, basically saying stop searching for me and everything, because she doesn't want him to because she cares about him and everything. And Surprisingly, Dwight seems a lot more sad than mad, but then he says now he needs to help you get back to June or anything. They kind of laugh, and you know, that's where the episode ends, or their plotline ends and everything. So on to the review. So this episode was actually really good. It was action packed. It had a lot of good moments. Like let's see, I like Strand and Charlie's kind of like, you know, moments throughout this episode. I like Morgan and June or anything. I liked Alicia and the kids or anything. Now here's the thing with me and the kids. Dylan's the only one that's never been annoying. He's the one that I like always have liked or anything, but the other kids have been very annoying. Now for the first, until the end where it starts getting emotional or anything, all the way up until that point, they're very annoying. Like, I really don't like them. It's not like they're bad actors. It's just like the characters, I guess they're so good at making the characters really annoying or whatever. Like, it's a little less rebellious and more annoying. But once it starts getting, like, when Lisa, like, finally when, like, you know, the walkers are coming or anything, they start getting less annoying. Anything when the horde starts coming or anything, they start getting less annoying. Yeah, like I said, I like Strand and Charlie's kind of thing throughout the episode. I like the ending and everything where, like, you know, like the horns kind of started, you know, going off and everything for the nuclear power plant, because that was like a really good cliffhanger and a really good moment. I liked kind of the realization of, you know, like when, like, you know, Alicia or whatever gets kind of like the walker blood, her moment and everything defending. I liked everything about this episode was really good, besides I think the kids. There's actually something I have to say about like Alicia. I really hope she does not die and everything, because I think I said this on the Facebook page for The Walking Dead and everything, is that they killed Nick and Madison off last season, like all in the same season. So I really don't think it'd be right to kill like Alicia off in like this season, like one season apart, of like two other main characters dying. So I really hope she doesn't die or anything, because I think that person be just stupid and a really bad choice for the show, because she's the last Clark. It'd be as if, like, you know, like Rick, Carl, and Lori got killed off, like, you know, almost in the same seasons, or like 2 seasons or like a season apart. But yeah, that was kind of my episode breakdown review of Fear the Walking Dead season 5 episode 7. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode, you know, review and everything and all this other stuff, and I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I see you guys later. Make sure to comment down below what you guys thought of the episode, and if you guys did see it and everything, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and I see you guys all later. Peace and amigos, and peace out.